Good morning, YouTube. What is going on, peoples? It's Saturday. You're on the lifeboat. It's Captain Calhoun speaking. Having coffee. You know, it's interesting. This thought just occurred to me. I was watching a podcast, and Neil deGrasse Tyson was getting interviewed, and he said he had his phone without a case, like this, except his wasn't broken. And he was like kind of just flipping it around and playing with it and kind of being reckless. And the podcaster asked him about it. I was like, "What are you doing? You're gonna hurt that thing. You're gonna have to buy a new one, you know." And he was like, "Actually, I'm practicing so that I don't drop it." And I thought that was interesting. What reminded me of that was pouring my coffee from a height and not making a mess like a fool. But it's because I practice all the time. That's why I don't make a mess. Anyways, silly fact for the morning. What's going on? Blake Reed, I see you, buddy. Good to see you, dude. It's been a long time. Hope this message finds you well. Carry on. Good morning. Blessed to Crochet, Dale Cox. I sent you some tracking information this morning, buddy. Forgot yesterday, but whatever. Can't be perfect. I sent you that this morning. I also sent you an address. If you'd like that, let me know. I have not attempted to track it yet. I figured I'd just let you play with it. So yeah, dude, let me know when you're receiving things. Jason P. Jimena, what is going on? I live for now. Good morning. Let's do crochet. Jimena, Robin Miners, Jason P., the newest nut. Good morning, crew. Huzzah. Hello. Good morning. Just reading, just scrolling. My brain's still waking up. Edward, good morning. Thanks for inquiring about Ben. I think he's well. I didn't know about the health stuff, so I mean, now I want to check on him, but he's definitely still a part of this channel. We had communicated either yesterday or the day before. I can't remember which day it was. They all kind of blend together sometimes. Tina Marie, good morning. Good to see you. Charlie Mullins, I hope you have a great day at work, dude. If you're still listening, drive safe. Alrighty. Heck yeah, guys. Today, I had thought about this concept, the weekend or the deep end. Especially in early recovery, the weekend can probably be pretty intimidating because we used to do XYZ, but that landed us in too deep, right? So what do we do now? There's all this open space. There's all this time we don't have to be at work. What are we going to do with it, right? They say that idle hands are the devil's playthings. And I think that's especially true for us, for people like us, for people that are trying to change their lives and claw our way out of the trenches, so to speak, right? Blake Reed says, Spanx, I'm obsessed with your hair and mustache. It's very Jack Sparrow, and I'm so jealous. You know, it has taken me 35 years to be able to look like this. I've always wanted facial hair, and it was always something that was unobtainable. In fact, I don't really have chest hair either. It's finally coming in just a little bit. You can't see it because it's blonde, but that means a lot to me, Blake. I really appreciate that. I have always wanted a mustache. And I wish you could have seen my hair before we chopped the underside off. It was magnificent. I guess I blame myself for letting it get terrible and cutting it, but it's okay. We move forward. Jane Aldrich, good morning. But yeah, the weekend or the deep end. Now that we have all this space, we're not going to go party. I mean, or are we, right? Because if we don't prepare accordingly, if we just walk into the weekend willy-nilly and not thinking about stuff, we very well may just end up walking old paths and engaging in old behaviors, seeing old friends, doing what we used to do. And if we do what we've always done, we'll get what we've always got. Shout out to NCIS. I love that quote. It's a good one. Anthony DiNozzo knows what he's talking about. So we're going to do something different. We're going to make a plan. We're going to structure things. We're going to make friends. We're going to get a support system, right? We're going to do all these things. But specifically, just make a little plan, right? This weekend, we know what we're not going to do, right? So let's focus on what we're going to do instead. That way we have excuses. That way we have an alibi. That way when the little gremlin on your back, you know, the little addiction on the inside of you starts to rear its ugly head and like, hey, why don't we just do this? You have a plan already. You're like, nope, we're doing this. Actually, we're on our way. And I think that's really important. I think that's really important. And if you're feeling especially troubled, especially we all know when the weekend's coming. It's Thursday, it's Friday. Okay, the weekend's here. Trust your gut. If you have a strange feeling, if there's like an event coming up this weekend, that about, and you're like, I'm not really sure how this is going to pan out. Make a plan. Tell a friend. Tell a couple friends. Be like, hey, I'm a little nervous about this. Will you help me out? The weekend can be a joy, but it can also be a pit to fall back into old ways. And that just occurred to me this morning. I don't know why, but I like to follow my gut. I like to fly by the seat of my pants sometimes. So that's the topic today. But it's a great topic. It's a great topic. It is a great topic. TKK, good morning. My new profile is a tribute to Tommy and Reese. Wow. Thank you. That's very kind. Karen Hall says, my son is really manic today. Breaks my heart, but he's still sober. Thank God. The emotions can be quite a roller coaster in the beginning, especially if there are other issues present, right? Like for me, I've got ADHD. I'm prone to depression. I have a lot of things going on, right? But the emotional bit can be very roller coastery in the beginning. I'm glad he's sticking with it. It's hard. Mara, good to see you. I see you there. Alrighty. In the beginning, in my early sobriety, I was scared to go out. Especially, I was living downtown. I was like living in the hub of social activity. Salt Lake's kind of a drinking town. There's lots of bars and stuff downtown, and that's really like what I would do is I would go drink with my friends, or I would go to the function, this big fancy underground event, warehouse party, whatever it is, and dance and party and do drugs and whatever, right? So that was my life, and then I decided to change it. So now I'm still living in this hub. How do I get out and do stuff, right? What am I going to go to the park and sit under a tree and read a book? The answer is yes. You got to find something to do, right? So especially when all I knew to do was go drink at the bar or like go, to the warehouse party, we have to find different ways to entertain ourselves. We have to find ways to fall back in love with the world, with our life, especially in a world that's so dark, has so much bad things happening that you hear about all the time with this connective technology. There's really nothing hidden from us, right? We see all the bad, all the good. We see everything all at once. I think that I lost my train of thought. Shauna B, good to see you. Good morning. I have not been in Messenger. It's quite overwhelming. I'm contemplating just deleting all the messages and acting like the last couple of days didn't happen, and then seeing what happens next. Because I don't know. I'm not going to dig up the past. Things are over and done with, and I'm done with it. So, but that's if you've messaged me in Messenger, I love you. It's a little overwhelming. So I might just delete all those messages so I can be normal again. Because I don't think it's very important to, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's super important that I immerse myself back in a situation that's over. So I think I am going to delete all those. And I apologize if that offends you. If one of those messages is you, I'm sorry. But I don't think I'm going to deal with it. I don't have to. So, yeah. Does anyone have any fun weekend plans they want to share? Queen of Awkwardness, what's going on? Good morning. I'm also balding. I don't know if Blake's saying that he's already balding, but I have this vicious widow's peak. I just hide it really well with my comb over. It's getting there. I guess that's not technically balding yet, but you can't be balding, dude. I guess you possibly could, but I'm not judging your life, I swear. I hope you're not balding. That's not fun. Although maybe you've got a really good looking dome piece. You never know. I think my dad looks pretty good bald. He definitely has the convict look, the half sleeve, the goatee, the baldness. But I think he pulls it off well, right? You can be beautiful without hair. Although hair is pretty cool. Hair's pretty cool. I just realized I was thinking about going down to the P.O. box today, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of stuff. So I probably need to enlist help. I probably need to tell Auntie Scoville to come pick me up and take me there so that I can help her help me. Because I don't picturing her like moving a box of bookcase pieces and doing stuff in service of me, and I'm just thinking, I don't like how it looks in my head. I want to go help her. So plus I want to put that bookshelf right here, put all my books on it and start reading. Oh my, can't wait. You guys are so kind. Just did the yard, says Queen of Awkwardness. Going to die of allergies now. When I was a kid, I didn't experience allergies at all, but whatever goes on in certain parts of the year really messes with my nose and my head and my sinuses these days. I grew into it. Very strange. And in early recovery, you may not want to go out. I mean, obviously, we don't want to isolate, right? And we want to get out of our shell and recharge our batteries. We want to have fun. We want to find ways to have fun, to be happy, right? So that we can keep moving forward, so that the reward system of our brain is trained back up to do what it's supposed to do without drugs and alcohol, right? So I hate losing my thought mid-sentence. I'm like on a roll, and then I gave myself a ton of time to prepare today, too. I wonder what's going on in my head. Huzzah says, today is my daughter's 8th birthday party. Yesterday was her B-day. We're having it at Mickey D because Tucson weather is insane this year. It's terrible. Happy birthday to your daughter. Got a little cupcake for birthdays. Shout out to Blessed Your Crochet. This thing is so cute. I love it. I wish it tasted good as it looked. It tastes like yarn. I wonder why. Rick Smith, good to see you. Reconnecting. Ooh, I love that. I didn't get that until just now. Sometimes I'm thick as a doornail, dude. I'm thick as a doorstop. Sometimes I'm thick. But reconnecting, I love the name. Good to see you again. Welcome back. Love to you as well, TKK. Thank you so much. Weekend or the deep end. I forgot entirely where I was with that. I really hate that so much. You're gonna have to just allow me to forget things today, I guess. Maybe it's that kind of day. Please hold. I'm gonna turn my AC on. What was I going to say? Yeah, my multitasker is broken today, Rick Smith. I don't know what's going on. I can do one of the things if I just do one of the things, but the multitasking is hard today. I've always wanted to go to New York, Queen of Awkwardness. Queen of Awkwardness says, growing up in New York, I had no allergies. I live in South Carolina and am allergic to everything that grows here. When I moved to Utah originally, that was really rough for a while. The combination of weather there is quite unique, and I don't know. It was hard for me to adjust with the altitude, with the sun, with the snow, with the everything, with the dryness. We moved there from Nevada, so it wasn't like as bad. Did we? Yes, we did. Wait. No, we moved there from Texas, so it was culture shock for sure. Getting things mixed up. One of my fortes. Invited her class and preparing to meet a bunch of new people and trying to swallow down the socially awkward part of me. I think you've got this, Huzzah. I believe in you. Plus, you've got your wonderful sunshine daughter with you, to back you up. She's your wingman. You know what I mean? And she's not scared of anything, I would imagine. When they're 8, they're pretty fearless. Can you hit rewind, Spanx? Ha ha ha. I do that all the time, sometimes mid sentence. I wish I just had like I don't know if you guys watch the Chappelle's show, but the home stenographer. Let's just play that back. There's someone in the closet writing everything down that's said. I wish. Or, from the makers of the home stenographer, the backpack stenographer, and he's got like a famous little person in a backpack writing stuff down. Super funny. Super funny. Missed that show. I want to go to Japan too, Blake. Although I hear I've been doing research on the culture and stuff because I'm so interested. It seems very, very different from where we live. I guess that's a stupid thing. I mean, of course it's different, but the things I'm finding out about it don't make me stoked. I like the idea of Japan, but I definitely have to go visit to pass judgment, I think. One of our crew members lives there, I believe. At least one. Trying to remember his name. He's not in here all the time, but he shows up from time to time. But we have at least one crew member based in Japan. Got shingles back in 2007 from stress. And here I thought ulcers were the only thing I could give myself. That is very interesting. I think I'm managing it pretty good. I don't know if this is for me or not. Oh no, it's for Blake. Okay. I can read. Okay. Tennessee is allergy city. Moved here from Florida. I am excited to visit Tennessee and see what it's all about. Pretty sure I'm going to go hang out with Huxley sometime in the next few months. I don't know when it's going to be. The live did not start for me. I had to refresh even being here. I lost the start. Jimena, no. Well, you're here now. There wasn't anything super exciting except, all the meat and potatoes and stuff that I forgot. It's a shame. The weekend or the deep end. We're making a plan. Early recovery. Maybe you don't want to go out, right? It's a little scary out there. We do need to recharge and be social, but not at the cost of like our safety and security. Like if you don't feel prepared to go and be social, don't go and be social. You know what I mean? And it's gonna again take some practice. It's gonna take some preparing. It's gonna take some doing it a few times to become comfortable, to feel like you can trust yourself. You know what I mean? And I just would like to say, if you don't feel like you're in that place, be patient. You'll be in that place, right? Don't jump into stuff, especially on the weekend. There's pressure. There's pressure you put on yourself. There's pressure from your friends. There's pressure here, pressure there. Plus, I don't want to sit at home and just watch TV again, right? I want to go out. I want to go do something. Just be patient with yourself and be patient with your journey, because you might not get a second chance. You know what I mean? You might get a bunch of second chances, but you might not get any at all. You know what I mean? So just be careful out there, especially on the weekend. Yeah. See. I guess we could go through some example plans. Like, hey, maybe this is my escape plan, or this is my adversity plan. This is my trigger plan. In early recovery for myself, when I was still living downtown, I cut my friend group down pretty small. All my fire group people, I shouldn't say all, but like the people that were close to me in the fire community, in like the dancing, the fire, the burner community, I kept, right? But that's a handful of people. And those are people that we've been through a lot together, right? Our relationship wasn't based around substances and partying. Our relationship was based around connection and creating and dance and love, right? Which is great, right? So those are people I keep. But the majority of my time socially was spent with not those people leading up to my recovery. So I had a lot of time on my hands. I had a ton of time on my hands. I was working quite a bit, but as soon as I get off work, especially because I hate my job, right? My job sucks. As soon as I get off work, I want to go have some fun. I want to do something. I want to feel better. Usually I go get some beers. Usually I go do this. I go do that. So what am I going to do now? Well, initially I started going to the gym and that helped a ton. And if I didn't do that, maybe I would have done some outside something, right? Maybe I go read a book under a tree. I don't know. Maybe I pick up walking. I'll walk around the neighborhood. I'll start walking more and more, right? Something, anything. Maybe I'll pick up the guitar, start learning how to play it, or maybe I'll pick up sketching, whatever. I just need a little bit of a hobby. I need something to occupy my hands, especially on the weekends when I have so much time or after work, right? Um, so that's what I did. That was the first couple of things. Changed the friend group up, started going to the gym a lot. And I made friends that were into, in my case, the gym, right? So my neighbor was really into working out. I actually can attribute me getting back into it to him getting me back into it. So yeah, I would also suggest making friends that are into these things that you're trying to get into as well. So then you have someone to do it with. Now you're crushing two birds with one stone, right? You've got a social network, you've got a good hobby to keep yourself occupied, you're heading in a good direction. And I say this all the time, I'll say it again. We have a difficult journey to walk, right? The statistics are against us. So we can use all the tools, every possible tool at your disposal is what you should be using. Not this one and that one, not picking and choosing. You need all the help you can get. I need all the help I can get. Does that make sense? Of course it makes sense. I thought I felt really good until I started forgetting what I was saying. I guess I'm back in it. No need to dwell on the past. Carry On says, I just bought some watercolor paints. I'm going to just play with the color. My grandma does some of the most killer watercolor paintings. I love it. She's gotten into it in the past, I want to say within the past 5 years, or maybe in the past 6 or 7 years, but she's become quite the watercolor painter. She does like Christmas cards for the family, hand painted. Super cute. She's the best. Let me know how that goes, Carry On. I'd love to see some of your paintings once you get into it. Gina Marie Torino, hello. Since I have to stay at my parents' place for one more day, I will go downtown tonight and watch the cathedral of the city turn its lights on. Wow. Turn its lights on with music and fireworks. Beautiful show. I love a good cathedral. That's really cool, dude. I wish I could be there. That sounds fun. The Hux and Spanks show would be fun. Obviously not about addiction. Does Huxley do YouTube? If he does, direct me. I'll have to go check it out. Good morning, Candy's Life. Good to see you. Welcome in, Dee Dee Razzle Dazzle. Hello. Carry On says, I refuse to be a statistic. I said that with cancer twice, and now I'm saying it with addiction. 3 years sober. I guess that is what you call determination. Hey, man. What that is a miracle. What that is just strictly wonderful. Good for you. Carry On. 3 years is a big deal. And beating cancer twice is obviously quite a big deal. I think you're killing it, Carry On. You're starting your own YouTube channel. You're doing lots of stuff. You're making waves. You're making ripples, as they would say. And I love to see it. I'm proud of you. Beta says, I would like to challenge myself, but it's extremely scary for me. It's probably silly, but even the thought is frightening. It's not silly at all. Own your emotions. You know what I mean? If you're feeling scared, there's probably a good reason for it. The reason might be, a little silly when you get down to the bottom of it. Might be, but most likely your fear is grounded in something that deeply affects you. You know what I mean? Your fear most likely is grounded in something that's near and dear to your heart, right? So it's okay to be scared, but there also is worth mentioning, you can't have courage without fear. You can't be brave if you're not scared. So I don't know exactly what the situation is for you, Beta, but I believe in you, and I think you can do this, whatever it is. My dad used to tell me when I was younger, he said, fear is just adrenaline entering your stomach and getting you ready for a fight or a flight. And that helped me kind of shift around in my head what things meant. Like that fear response didn't necessarily mean bad things anymore. Once I wrapped my brain around that, the fear response just meant action. And action. Rolling, 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 cut. That was a good shot. All right, let's take 5. Wow, I need to trim my mustache. That's one thing, Blake, about the mustache. It is the flavor saver. You have to keep it at a certain length. Otherwise, it just starts getting in coffee and eggs and literally everything that you eat and drink. One time I was eating a cheeseburger. This was a long time ago. I think it was a cheeseburger. It might have been something else, but I was eating out. Someone prepared food for me, and I saw a hair in my food. It turns out it was one of my mustache hairs upon further research. It was one of my own hairs. It's a humbling experience. Bravery isn't about being fearless, says Mocked. It's about doing it anyway. That's right. Blake Reed says, let your fear pass over you and through you, young Padawan. And when it has gone past, only you will remain. Wow, I love that, Blake. I love that. Let your fear pass over you and through you. And when it has gone past, only you will remain. Holy crap, I like that so much. I'm going to save that for later use, Blake. I hope you don't mind. There should be a copy all of this text function right here. But there's not. Maybe on this side? Oh my gosh, it works. Please hold. I feel like whatever I put on music-wise in my ear has changed to something else, because I don't remember there being R&B on this mix. It's like love songs playing in my ear, sweet nothings that I'm not really trying to hear. It has been saved for later. Lori Abs, good to see you. Just off work. Good morning. You worked pretty early, huh? Welcome in. I'm glad you made it. I hope you've got plenty of time to relax now. You deserve it. Lizzie Noddle. Hello, hello. I don't know if I've ever said hello to you, but good morning. Welcome in. Queen of Awkwardness says, whenever I used to pick food out of my ex's beard, he'd say, hey, I was saving that for later. Lol. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So, getting back to the subject matter, the weekend can be a pitfall, or it can be a much needed respite. And what it ends up being is up to you, right? It depends on your planning. It depends on your intentions. It depends on how you go about it. It depends on exactly what you do. And if you don't plan for eventualities, if you don't, think about it consciously, if you just run in willy-nilly, you might end up in a pitfall rather than a pit stop. I wonder if I have any more example plans. For me, it was a gradual process. I still wanted to get my hair cut at the same place, which I was doing blow with my barber, right? Like that, I couldn't. Luckily, one of my oldest friends also worked at that hair salon, so I could just get my hair done from her instead of him, right? But at the same time, it was really hard for me to change my ways as far as not hang out with the same people, even though knowing it's triggering, right? I still need to get my hair done, not done, but cut, taken care of, right? In fact, I didn't go back to the hair place for, I want to say a month. In fact, that's why I have the undercut. I might be getting situations mixed up. But I definitely didn't go back for a little while, because I didn't know how to do that effectively. In fact, I might not have gotten a haircut until I was like sober for a while. Until I moved here, I might not have. I can't remember exactly how that went down, but that was a big point of contention. That was inside me. It was like, I can't go back there and see these people because I used to do X, Y, and Z with them. So yeah, there's going to be lots of shifting in the beginning. There's going to be lots of moving around and whatnot, but be patient with yourself. You know, and that salon was like across the street from like 2 bars that we used to frequent and stuff. I pretty much stopped going down there. I would only walk past that place to go to the gym after that. I did wash my hair. That's why it's up and wet. And I don't know if I got all the conditioner out. I think I did. I rinsed the crap out of it. You can't really tell until it dries sometimes, especially when I don't really care. Just wash it again tomorrow, right? It's looking pretty good. It's looking all right. Maybe today is the day that my mouth stops hurting. It feels pretty good right now. There's still a hole there. It's getting smaller. Jimenez says, going to a park and take a walk, lay in the grass, just be there relaxing. I love to do that. You know, and sometimes this is exactly what we need, especially in early recovery. You might, not want to go out and do what you normally do. Maybe it's time to, get to know yourself a little better. Even better, do some journaling in the shade under a tree at the park, right? But yeah, it's time to fall in love with new habits. It's time to adopt some new hobbies. It's time to make some new friends, right? It's time to fall in love with yourself again, or maybe for the first time. It's time to fall in love with your life again. And the way that we do that is through contrary action, for sure, especially in early recovery. We want to do the opposite. We want to do not what we used to do. We want to do something different. Looks fab. Yadira, good to see you. It's a little heavy right now because it's still wet, so it's not moving proper. Although I will say I shook my head in the shower, and I must have been dehydrated because my brain rattled like in my skull a little bit, and it kind of hurt. I was like, oh no, it's going to be one of those days, huh? One of those days where I need way more water. My fear brings me into freeze on a cellular level, says Beta. I hate it. I do much better when I have someone make me do it, a deadline, than I do it in spite of fear. But an internal motivation and anxiety equals no. Interesting. You probably don't have any practice conquering your fear. You probably don't have any practice experiencing the fear and then doing it anyways. And I would have to say that's most likely why you're experiencing cellular freeze. This is an obstacle that you can overcome, I promise. You're just going to have to do it anyways one time. You know what I mean? And then another time. I know it sounds terrible and it probably sounds terrifying, right? But that's the only way to get over your fear is to walk right into it. The only way to conquer it is to look it right in the face and tell it it's nothing. Matrix Rabbit, welcome in. Good to see you. Nana of 2, late but made it. Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome in. Happy Saturday to you as well. Kathy Kewen, I adopted a 10-year-old German Shepherd to keep me accountable for getting outside every day. Win-win. I like that. I like that a lot. Courtney, hello. Welcome in. It's been a while. Good to see you. I can't remember the last time I cut my hair, Yadira. I do cut the split ends now and again, but I try not to cut it, right? I try to just let it go. Matrix Rabbit is going live today, people. I can't wait. Going out to the country where it's dark Sunday night to watch the meteor shower, maybe see some northern lights. That sounds like an amazing weekend plan. I could definitely do with some amazing weekend plans. But I'm probably just going to lay low and hopefully just heal my mouth up. That's the plan. I would like to go do extravagant, wonderful things. But I think I'm going to stay home, save money, heal my mouth, answer a bunch of comments and emails. I've been slacking. But it's okay. I guess I'm not slacking. I'm just overwhelmed a little bit. I'm recharging, right? I'm doing what I need to. Let's change the terminology here. Let's switch it around so it looks a little different. It's powerful. Perspective is powerful. Shannon Smith, welcome in. Welcome in. I'm definitely not going to cut my hair, I promise. I think it's funny every time someone thinks I cut it because I have it up and it's like sneaky. I am not cutting the hair. I know it was kind of a question at one point in time. It is no longer a question. It is no longer a question. I've become quite attached to it. Attracted to bald guys, huh, Yadira? I was bald when I was younger. I looked a little different. My face was different. I didn't have facial hair. I was just a babe, but I was bald when I was like 18. I wonder if I have any pictures of that. The skin right at the base of your skull is so soft and weird. It's like mushy even. Like not really, but it feels mushy. Super cool. Quiet weekend is healthy leisure. I like that, Mockton. That is the idea. That is exactly what I have planned for myself. I have to say. I feel like we all go bald eventually, Matrix. No shame in it. It's a sign of your wisdom and experience. It's funny you say that, Scooby. Scooby says if I had Spank's hair, I'd do that girly hair flip thing constantly. I do that girly hair flip thing constantly because it's way fun. It looks good. When you see people do it, you're like, man, I want to do that. So now that I have hair, I do it all the time. Yo, yo. Your skull is misshapen. Maybe your skull is just shapen in a certain way. You ever think about that? I'm sure you've got a mighty fine skull, TKD. Quite literally attached to your hair. Yeah, I mean, I am physically attached to it, but I do like it. I like it a lot. I want to keep it. I want to keep it on my head. Just do the factory reset. That's what I call it. Is that when you cut your hair? That's a great way to think about it. When I used to cut my hair, that's what I was doing. I was like trying to do a factory reset on the whole thing, right? All right, we're gonna do something different now because what just happened sucked. So we're cutting my hair, and I don't know, like saying it out loud sounds silly, but that's exactly what my thought process was. I used to cut my hair all the time. I had to give that up, that sentiment and idea, in order to grow my hair, though. Like I still get the idea all the time. I'm like, oh, I didn't like that. I want to cut my hair. But I can't do it anymore. Otherwise, I'll never grow hair, right? So, mushroom hunting. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I used to go mushroom hunting. And I thought I knew what I was looking for, right? But man, looking back, what if I had been wrong and I just ate the wrong mushrooms and got poisoned and died? That would have sucked. That would have sucked. We used to go hunting in little groups. Thanks for putting that up, Blessed to Crochet. I appreciate you. I guess I don't have a whole lot to say this morning. I guess I did say a lot really fast, though. Either way. Good luck with your massage, Jason. And yeah, man, I'll be keeping your back in my thoughts, dude. The back kind of holds your everything up. You know what I mean? It kind of holds you up straight and stuff. It's pretty important. Well, thanks for saying that, TKD. I love hanging with you guys. Carol Stewart, welcome in. Welcome in. How we doing, Calhoun? Hope you're good. I am great. I hope this message finds you well as well. Carol at Living Long and Prosper. Oh my. I like the new name, Carol. Live long and prosper. Good stuff. How are you these days, Carol? How have things been? I hear morels are delicious. The Admiral is deathly allergic to mushrooms. I don't eat a lot of them these days, but I'm pretty into mushrooms. Although mushrooms have like a texture thing. It's kind of like shrimp. Like I love shrimp, but sometimes I like get it lodged into my brain that like the texture is weird, and then I can't eat them until I forget about that. Mushrooms are delicious in a lot of things, but like if I allow myself to like focus on the texture, it really bothers me. Such a drag queen. We support that. I was just talking to my friend about, are you guys, I can't say that actually. Dang it. My friend was talking, maybe I'll just leave out the group name. My friend and I were talking about this burlesque show that she had been to. And I have been craving a good burlesque show. I tell you what, or a drag show, something of that nature. I hear they have some fun stuff going on in town, probably downtown. Pretty progressive little town here, so at least where the college is. So I think I might go to one. It's been a long time. You know, the first time I ever saw burlesque or drag was in the 12-step programs. My mom used to bring me to AA meetings a lot with her because she didn't trust me at home alone, which is hilarious. But inevitably, we would go to functions as well as meetings, right, where people would get together and play poker or get together for an event or a fundraiser. And man, there was a ton of drag going on in Garden Grove and Long Beach when I was growing up. There was a ton of wonderful burlesque introduced at a young age. I like to party. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? These days I party sober. It's still partying though. If I'm celebrating, I still consider it a party. I just, I don't do it like that anymore. Blessed Crochet says, if you lose the hair, we won't be able to tell you and your dad apart. Just kidding. I'll start growing a big salt and pepper goatee. Get a lookalike contest. I'm quite a big fan of red hair as well. It's hard to find. It's hard to find a pretty redhead, and I'm not saying that most redheads are not pretty. We're hard to find. There's not a lot of us. Most red hair is fake, which is cool. I support it. I love it. I prefer the real thing, obviously, right? But yeah, man, we're not the common denominator. We're definitely the minority, the beautiful minority. Hot as balls here in Puerto Rico. Oh my! I bet you it's beautiful though. I still refuse to cut it. Childhood bad memories of being bullied because of my short hair. You know, Yadira, my mom tells me stories about that in her past as well. Like it's one of like the formative like experiences that she had at that time period of her childhood. Like that was one of the things that really stuck out in her memory. I've heard that story from her quite a bit. Graham gave her the boy's haircut, basically. Like, oh, well, it wasn't intentional, right? But that it ended up being just a little too short, right? And she was made fun of up and down, left and right. But she now has short hair. She's got like a legitimate boy's cut, and I guess these days it's not necessarily a boy's cut anymore, right? But when she was a young person, like it definitely wasn't what girls did with their hair. But yeah, no, these days she has absolutely short hair. She used to have hair down to her butt. She used to have really long hair. I've heard TKD says I'm a redhead. It just got darker in my 40s. I've heard that this is going to happen to me, most likely going to darken. And I'm not excited about that. Hopefully it darkens into like a dark red, hopefully it doesn't go to like a dark, dirty blonde. That would be unfortunate. Matrix Rabbit says redheads are my kryptonite. We are volatile. We are definitely, we're definitely in something. Christine, welcome in. Hello, 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 fellow redhead. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I'm a huge fan of Sublime, and I know every word to that song, Candy. But I used to go to, I guess it was NA at the time. I used to go to Narcotics Anonymous meetings with my mother in Garden Grove. Technically, we lived in Los Alamitos, but Long Beach was like 2 houses away. Like the street had like a diagonal line through it where like the quality changed from like decent to really crappy. And the garbage trucks would come on different days. We were like that close to Long Beach. I could just walk 2 houses down the sidewalk and be in Long Beach. But it was like right where we were, there was like Signal Hill, Cypress, Long Beach, Garden Grove, Seal Beach. Everything was just kind of, that's how California is, right? We just happened to be like right in one of those creases. And I spent quite a bit of time with that community, that particular community in Garden Grove. We had a lot of friends in Garden Grove, or my mom did at least. Played a lot of Texas Hold'em, a lot of drag shows, a lot of bingo. I like Garden Grove. Something about like just how California felt. It felt like the promised land for some reason. I would step off a plane and just breathe that dirty LA air and it just tastes different. For some reason, like in a good way. I don't know what it is, but I think it's the ocean. Honestly, it's probably the ocean. Maybe it was just a certain time in my life, but there's a different feel out there. I definitely wouldn't like. I can't afford to live there. I don't think I would want to live there. But if I had the ability to without all of this other stuff, I would love that. I might get some property in Hawaii. I think I want to manifest some Hawaii property. I'm picturing a manse. No, I'm just kidding. I'm picturing like a house on a hill overlooking some water though, for sure. That would be like dream house for sure. House on a hill or a cliff, right? Overlooking some water, but like not close enough to the water for like the water to be an issue for like my house or whatever, but close enough to like we can go get in it, or we can just look at the sun hitting it right from our vantage point. Goals. Christine said mine did the opposite. My hair, the older I got, has gotten lighter. Interesting. I guess I could go with that. I could definitely do with that. Well, thanks for saying that, Scooby. I definitely am not in a hurry. I have a lot of I'm having a really good time working on me. I'm having a really good time creating the life that I want for myself. I'm having a really good time diving into myself in ways that I never have before. So I'm definitely not in a hurry, but man, do I look forward to it. That reminds me, I got to call TC today. We spoke for like 2 hours 2 days ago, and then I was going to call her yesterday, but I remember she said that she had evening plans, but she was free during the day, and I didn't call her during the day because I was doing stuff. So maybe I'll call her again today. Me and my friend like to talk on the phone while doing stuff because we're both real spicy brained. So having someone to talk to, honestly, when I lived in Salt Lake, she lived like 15-minute walk from me. So I would go over to her house and hang out while she was working. She works from home, and it helps us both focus and get things done to have like a body or someone to talk to. So the other day we were talking for like 2 hours, just catching up, talking about all kinds of stuff. I love her. Shout out to TC. You're the best. But I'll probably call her today. We'll do it again. Do it again. Lisa Tarimbo, wishing you a great day. Good to see you. Much love, Lisa. Thanks for popping in to tell me hello. Let's put some ones up for anyone that needs them today. Jason P's back for sure. Need that back in working order. Stat, dude. We need this thing. We need this thing working proper. Taking care of drunks is exhausting work. We can talk about this for a second on my last 10 minutes. So service work, right? Being of service, doing something for someone else. One of the biggest tools in our arsenal, one of the most beneficial things we can do. Now, knowing that being said, there's a lot of different ways that we can go about doing service. I remember in the 12-step program, the easiest way they start you to get doing service work is like, if this is like your home meeting, you go to this meeting a lot, why don't you make the coffee for this meeting? Why don't you get here just a little bit early, like 5-10 minutes, make some coffee. You're of service, right? Everybody drinks the coffee. We literally need the coffee or we're going to freak out. Make the coffee for us. But that's one end of the spectrum. Real easy, low pressure, right? It's not a big deal, but it gets you into doing service. On the other end of the spectrum, you can engage and help an alcoholic, right? Engage and help someone in need, someone walking the path, right? I would not recommend doing that unless you have some time under your belt, unless you have solid recovery, unless you feel comfortable, right? Unless you feel comfortable doing these things, because that is scary. Like making coffee, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe I spill hot coffee on myself, right? Maybe I miss the meeting and there's no coffee, right? Something like that. With the other end of the spectrum, the worst that could happen is very different. And there's a lot more going on. It's very complicated, right? This form of service is wonderful. In fact, I might even say necessary for this thing to keep working. We kind of have to keep helping each other, right? But it's a lot to take on. So you may not need all that extra drama in your life, right? You may not be ready to walk someone through how this thing works, right? You probably, if you're like me, you want to. If you're like me, you are drawn to, because you've got love in your heart, right? You see someone that reminds you of the old you hurting, right? And you see someone that reminds you of yourself, not knowing what to do, but you know what to do, right? So of course you want to help them. Of course. But it's not that simple. These people need to want to help themselves. They need to be able to help themselves. They need to be willing. They need to take the action. You can't just give them the knowledge and it's going to change everything, right? And I'm sure most of you know this, but it's good to hear it again sometimes. It's good to remind ourselves that we don't have to throw ourselves into the fire to do service. We could literally mow our grandmother's lawn, right? Help her with the garden. We could go make coffee at a meeting, at church, at a book study, at whatever you do, right? There's an easy way to be of service that doesn't involve helping someone else out of the swamp of their, I don't like that word, but you know what I mean? Helping an addict in need and helping the coffee maker work, very, very different things, but are both service, right? I think it's important to keep that in perspective. Of course, we want to change people's lives, right? It's wonderful. But maybe start small, especially if you've got a lot going on in your life. You know what I mean? Start small. I believe in every single one of you. Y'all can do this thing. We are literally doing this thing already. 2 crazy cult members go around me outside. I didn't know that was Obi Trice featured on that song for the longest time. My buddies Hunter and name drop Alex and I, all 3 of us went to see Obi Trice at the Urban Lounge in Salt Lake City. We were the only 3 people that showed up, and we were hammered. This was way back when I was not sober. And Obi Trice was such a jerk. He performed like 2 or 3 songs and then he left. We tried to like say what's up to him and he like ignored us. We were also like white girl wasted though. And we were embarrassing ourselves and definitely making him, he was probably feeling like, is this what I've come to? He was probably thinking, I'm not performing for these arseholes. But that's a fun memory about that song. I was so excited. We were so pumped. We were like the biggest fans of Obi Trice until that day. And he just sucked. He totally sucked. And I mean, I guess it sucks to perform for 3 people that are super duper drunk, but like, dude, we paid to be here. You know what I mean? This is what you do. Finish your set, you friggin' jerk. Anyways, it's okay. I'm not still mad about that. I definitely don't listen to him anymore, though. I'm on strike. Einstein's didn't accept cash during the pandemic. I don't eat there anymore either. Were you drinking wine coolers? White girl wasted? Lol. No, we were probably drinking. I was drinking tequila. I don't know what Alex and Hunter drink. They don't drink tequila though. That's for sure. I was the only one drinking tequila unless I could pressure my friends into drinking it with me. Sometimes Alex would drink tequila with me, but he hated it. He did it out of love for me. I'm sure, literally 100% certain that he like did that for me so that he would have something to drink with. Anyways, I feel like that's not a subject matter we should dwell on, right? The act of drinking, what I was drinking, those things are not very important and kind of make me feel a little itchy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, me too, Carol. Me too, Carol. That's for sure. That's why I'm feeling a little itchy, I think. I'm going to not talk about it anymore. Not talk about it anymore. Vanilla Ice was horrible to the fans. Not a big fan of Vanilla Ice, especially now that knowing this. I always hate to hear stuff like this. Deaudrey Gore says, "What is white girl wasted?" That is embarrassingly drunk. That is, those are those times when you look back and you're like, wow, really? Really? I did that? White girl wasted. That's probably a phrase from my generation. That's probably what happened there. Is Vanilla a contractor now? That's hilarious. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Every morning, I wonder exactly what is the cause of this. It has everything to do with drinking my coffee. It only happens after I drink the coffee. Dang, I don't want to leave on the note we were just talking about drinking. Let's talk about something else for a little while, and then I'll get out of here. He does house flips, and that's a hard job, I have to say, but can be quite lucrative. I used to do a lot of different construction stuff, and I have thought about going into a line of work like this, like buying a house and fixing it up and then selling it, but I never did. Never did. Your dad would be proud of you for shutting it down. I appreciate you, Zarina, and I love your name. I have this undeniable, I don't know, maybe obsession is the right word with Russian culture and specifically the Romanov dynasty. So every time I see your name, it warms me up a little bit. So thanks for being here, Serena. I appreciate you, Courtney Almarmont. What is a house flip, Jimena? That's when you buy kind of like buy a property that needs to be fixed up a little bit. You buy a house that's maybe a little run down, but you're Vanilla Ice. You know how to do floors. You know how to do tiles. You know how to do electrical, plumbing, all this stuff, So you fix it up. It gains value, right? You make it nicer, and then you sell it for more than you bought it for. The intent is to make a profit, right? So the intent is to sell it for more than you bought it for, in addition to more than you put into it, right? Because you're going to put money into it to get it up to, to spruce it up, so to speak, right? But it's, some people make a really good living flipping houses, right? Buying old stuff, fixing it up, and then selling it for more. Lisa Trimble, thank you so much. Was ready with keys and wallet in hand to buy a bottle yesterday. Got help, journaled, still sober. I love you, Lisa. I'm proud of you. Things are rough. Things can be a tornado, but there's always an eye of the storm. There's always a place we can go to calm. You just got to find it, got to center yourself, right? I'm really glad that you were able to get some help, Lisa, and I'm really glad you're still sober. I tell you what, it's worth it. It's worth the struggle, I promise. Maybe go with less acidic coffee. That's like the third time I've heard that. Nancy Schmancy, you guys must know what you're talking about. I'm going to have to do some research on coffee and acidity and what's what, because I don't know the difference at this point. But again, I keep hearing this all from different people, Nancy. So there must be something to it. Thank you for bringing that up. I will no longer ignore the writing on the wall because my gut is important to me. Patty Collins popping in to say hi. Good to see you. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. That's the girl they secretly give duels to. She blows the entire football team claiming she was drunk. Nene, you're Is this a story? It sounds like a movie quote to me. Sounds like a movie. Got to shave my face and my head before my live. You going all the way naked? No hair, dude? Dunkin' Donuts coffee, what? Is or is not acidic? Carol Stewart says, my addiction is tea. Maybe I'll have tea in the morning. I need some good caffeinated tea. I think what I have now is like, it's okay. It's whatever. It's not what I wanted to get. The tea that I have for the evening or for vocal stuff, the stuff that Roberta got me is fantastic. But it's definitely more of a calmer than a picker-upper. I know someone whose grandfather rescued the royal palace during the Russian Revolution of 27. Rescued a violin. Oh, did you guys know that in order to craft a violin, they take wood and bend it and then somehow get it to keep its form? That's why violins are so expensive. It's not as simple as like gluing some pieces together or whatever, right? Like there's like a crazy traditional like process where they I don't know if it's chemicals or water or pressure or a combination of everything, but they take wood and like mold it to the exact shape that they want. It's the craziest thing, I swear. It's super duper cool. I would love to own a violin one day. Or a cello. Ooh. Although TC has a cello. I might have to get something else so we can jam. Although maybe I just get like a different sized cello or a different tuned cello so that we can just be weird together. Boom, 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 boom. A cello always makes me think of that Primus song, Mr. Crinkle. Try that mushroom coffee that comes in the brown box? No, but I know what you're talking about. My buddy Mike, I think, is into it. He's really into like holistic health solutions, and he's really into mushrooms. Really super duper into mushrooms, and he, I think, grows like lion's mane and all kinds of stuff that he like will cook and eat, and he's into it. And he's pretty cognitive. He's pretty sharp. So I mean, maybe there's something to it. Water and heat to bend the wood, says Rona Cooley. There are some people in here that are very smart, far more educated than myself. It's a great Prime song, isn't it, Christine? It's a good one. It has its own vibe. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna get out of here, yo. My brother-in-law makes violin bows for a living, handmade. They are art, dude. What goes into making these things blows my mind. And I'm super into music, right? Sound is my thing, right? So, they use different like specific hair for the bows, from what I understand. Super interesting stuff, dude. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get out of here. I deserve some breakfast. Yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for showing up. Hit that like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It certainly makes a difference. And again, I love every single one of you. You guys are the best crew a captain could ask for. Charlotte says hello from Sweden. Flick Fox, I see you there. Bo beats no sheep. Might want to stay away from the cello. Interesting. That's so funny. Does she have a thing with cellos? I'm going to have to go tease her about it. I love Reese, by the way. While she's been brought up, love you, Reese. If you're watching this, shout out to you. You're the best. Thanks for being a part of our lives. You've enriched both my father and mine own life. I appreciate you very much. Could have done without the smile there. That was a little cheesy. Anyways, Lord Kiss Freak, hello, hello. I saw you earlier. Make it a great day, everyone, says Lord Kiss Freak. My Lord commands it. Aye, aye, sir. All right. You guys have a good one, okay?